Today we're reviewing another semiconductor ETF because there's tremendous growth opportunities in the semiconductor space. Because as we already know, the semiconductor is at the heart of the computer chip and is involved in all the smart devices that we use. All our cell phone, our automobile, our homes, right? They're involved in everything. And going forward, it's only going to remain that important. So there is a tremendous amount of growth opportunities available, a tremendous amount of growth opportunities to grow your wealth, to grow your retirement, to grow your portfolio. So today we're looking at Invesco's semiconductor ETF, ticker symbol SOXX. We're looking at the SOXX semiconductor ETF. Just remember, I'm a regular guy on YouTube giving you my advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But with that being said, let us jump into my computer and learn about Invesco's semiconductor ETF, ticker symbol SOXX. Let's go.
So here we are in my computer on the Ishares Semiconductor ETF, ticker symbol SOXX, SOXX. So let's quickly review this semiconductor ETF. So it is a semiconductor ETF offered by iShares for people who like to get exposure to semiconductor space. And as you already know, this is the bedrock or the foundation of artificial intelligence, right? So why SOX? It gives you exposure to US companies that design, manufacture, and distribute semiconductors, right? So you can invest in other semiconductor ETFs such as ticker SMH, right, which is a VanEck semiconductor ETF, which would give you exposure to not just US companies involved in this space, but also foreign companies such as Taiwan Semiconductor. So, why SOX? Well, it gives you exposure to US companies that design, manufacture, and distribute semiconductors, right? You can invest in other semiconductor ETF, which would give you exposure to foreign companies doing the same thing if you like. But if you don't want that exposure or that additional risk, for example, you can just focus on the SOX, which would just focus on primarily U.S. companies, right? So it's targeted access to domestic semiconductor stocks. That's one of the difference between this and ticker SMH, which is the VanEck semiconductor ETF, which we did a previous video on that, which has more foreign exposure. Okay, so SOX got about 78% of its holdings in companies involved in the semiconductor space. The other 21% is in semiconductor equipment, right? Companies that are involved in the manufacture of semiconductor equipment. Less than 1% or 0.13% in cash and or derivatives. There are 30 holdings in SOX. Now, let's look at the holdings. We said 31 holdings. Top 10 holdings include NVIDIA at 9%, Broadcom 7.9%, Qualcomm 7.14%, Advanced Micro Devices AMD 6.29%, Micron Technology 5%, Intel 4.5%, Microchip Technology 4.37%, Texas Instruments 4.3%, Analog Devices 4.19%, and NXP Semiconductors 4.15%. Those are the top 10 holdings. Top 10 holdings covers about 59%. And you have KLA Corporation, 4.1%. Taiwan Semiconductor, which is a foreign company, and we said this is more a U.S. focused ETF, but it's only 4%. Okay, it's not as a larger position as SMH, for example, which has it at about 11%. Okay, you have Applied Materials, Lam Research, Marvell Technology. A lot of these probably we haven't heard, but we are diversified. That's the main thing. We are diversified. Skyworks Solutions, ST Microelectronics, Lattice Semiconductor, Qorvo Inc., MKF, ASA Technology, United Microelectronics, Rambus, Axelis Technologies, Wolfspeed. So that is our holding. Now let's look at the performance. So over the last 1 year, the 1 year return has been about 53.5%. The 3 year return has been about 17.99%. The 10-year return has been about 25.3%, which is great. Since inception, and we said since inception, and this ETF has been in existence since July 10th, 2001. Since inception, it's been about 11.75%. But keep that 10-year return of 25.3% in mind, because we're going to use that when we do our projections, okay? So here we are on the Nerd Wallet's compound calculator. Let's do some projections, okay? So the 10-year return on SOXX ETF was 25.3%. Let's imagine we had put down $10,000 and we let it sit there for 10 years and we add no additional money. After 10 years at 25.3% compound interest, we would have a total value of $122,000. Not bad for just letting your money sit there, right? Imagine if you had, so that's about 12x your investment, right? Imagine if you were able to put down $100,000. Say, for example, in your retirement account, let it sit there for 10 years. At 25% annualized return over 10 years, your $100,000 would have turned into about $1.2 million. Again, about 12x. But now let's imagine our initial deposit is $0 and we're contributing $100 every month, right, into SOXX over the last 10 years. At $100 a month, getting that 25.3% return, after 10 years, our total value would be about $53,000. Not bad. Let's imagine we were doing $200 a month. $200 a month after 10 years, $200 a month, our portfolio would have grown to about $106,000. Imagine we were doing $3,000 per month, our portfolio value would have grown to about $160,000. So these are some great returns, right? Because you consider the S&P 500 annualized return is about 10%. So 25% annualized return over 10 years is almost 2.5 times that of the S&P 500. That's why these are growth ETF with the potential to give you significant gains. Let's look at $500 per month. $500 per month as that return in this ETF would give you a total value of about $266,000. Not bad for a decade, and you're only putting in $500 a month. That's not bad. Imagine you were doing $1,000 a month, right? You're able to save your money, cut down your expenses, and contribute $1,000 per month and you were able to do this for 10 years, $1,000 a month. Your total value of your portfolio from $1,000 a month would be over $500,000, $532,000. Excellent. What if you're able to do $2,000 every month? In 10 years, your portfolio value would be almost $1.1 million. Let's go to $3,000 every month. Portfolio value would be about $1.6 million. And 10 years goes by quickly. That's a short time. 10 years go by quickly. So this shows you the tremendous growth rate you're getting. Because 10 years is going to go like this. And $3,000 a month, yeah, $1.6 million is a nice portfolio to have, right? Whether it's retirement or whatever. Let's look at $4,000 every month. You'd have over $2 million. And the final one, we would do $5,000 every month. And you end up with a portfolio of $2.6 million in 10 years, which is a short times. So nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's coming to save you. You have to do it on your own. So you have to take responsibility for your personal finance and command your money to grow. MD Investor out.